Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Like everything's booting on up. I noticed last time as well, I think my merge chat window may have been bugging out, so I'm going to take a moment to double check on it. Let's see now. Oh, did I... Macros not turned on. Test. Test. And test. Okay, looks like all of them popped up. Maybe there was just that one message that didn't pop up. Either way, let me give me a moment to clear out that. There we go. That's cleared up. And I think everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and actually get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the left side is the Teal Galaxy, we got Fuckface69. I have no idea how on earth this name's not censored. I never thought about using profanity in a name in a Advanced Wars by Web. I don't know if there's any safeguards of what your name can be, but apparently it is. I'm just going to let that be, I guess. And spawn as the, what's this, brown desert hawk. We got the Twin Cliff. This map is, of course, a, well, no fog of war. It is standard funds. Left versus right. Looks like it's two base, one airport in the middle, bit more contestable. And we do have a comm tower up there as well. Both players do have a black boat on top of a neutral point on their opponent's side of the base as well. So when somebody pushes forward for artillery piece, they could actually let it take a hit there to get some power charge going and then fall it back, or they can immediately pull it back to get some infantry push way forward, or healing, repairing, all that sort. So this could be a little bit flexible. And I don't know why. This seems... I don't know, that seems a little bit loud to me. Give me a moment. Reduce that a little bit. Or is it this one here? That's this one, I think. Yeah, I think that's good. Sorry about that, just had to do a bit of audio adjusting. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Black boat's moving around. Oh yeah. This audio player is a little bit bad with the balancing between some of the themes. I've been trying to figure out the two sound plugins. One I've been having doing some good work. Howdy. Yep, that is a Von Bolt username. I think about going to the other sound plugin. That one has a bit more bugs, but it is a bit better, but buggy. Well, this one is reliable, but the sound balancing is not great. Because you can see here, these two sound tracks are very, very different on audio balancing. And there's nothing much to do to fix that. Of course, it's just initial capturing game. Hawk is capturing up his airport now. And both players have moved the black boat onto the shore there, preventing movement right there. So Hawk may be able to deploy out 8 battlecopters this turn. He has 12,000 funds. He has deployed out a tank, so has Von Bolt. So something tells me we're going to see an early battlecopter. Battlecopter. And the tanks push way forward. Von Bolt's tanker is reaching out this far. And tanks push way forward. Got another tank now deployed on the field. Battlecopter heading up north. Tank gets on top of the property. Von Bolt does a +10/+10 passive, while Hawk only has +10% offense, so Von Bolt has a slight advantage when it comes day to day. Of course, Hawk does have an accessible power, while Von Bolt does not even have a power, just a superpower. So there's the two heavyweights when it comes to superpowers, to say the least. 9 power charge versus 10 power charge. Does fire back there, could do a join and capture. Tank, got a lot of tanks, triple tank and a artillery, plus anti-air here to engage the battlecopter. Battlecopter may just be pushed up north, anti-air can reach all the way up here. But the anti-air could simply follow, but if it falls too far, then the tank can get a good strike onto it. Right now, Hawk maybe pull back his tank a little bit. This tank is getting pretty far forward. He could try falling back to this road here to avoiding the fire to it. I mean, double tap. Anti-air now pulled up by Hawk. And he has pushed the Black Bolt back up there as well. It feels like Von Bolt has a little bit more assets than Field. At least heavy assets. I got 3 tanks, 1 artillery piece, 1 anti-air versus 2 tanks, 1 battlecopter, 1 anti-air. It is falling back a little bit there, trying to avoid the battlecopter. Anti-air, we got double anti-air, 1 on each flank. So the battlecopter's gonna have trouble moving around, but decides to head up straight up north. We'll capture some more of these properties at 20,000 versus 17. Gets a good strike there. Capturing up that port. And now got a tank there. Artillery gets a good strike on the Black Bolt. He probably needs to displace it now. Anti-air heading up north. And battlecopter up here as well. He could select the battlecopter, engage the battlecopter. Won't be probably a good idea if he does that. We got this anti-air locking down this airport, so overall it feels like Von Bolt is in a great position right now. Try and flip that property, takes out that 1 infantry unit there. Tank sitting up north, battlecopter falls back even further. And this battlecopter pushes right forward, out of range this anti-air and this anti-air. Von Bolt has now 3 anti-air, that may be a little bit too much at this point in time. Maybe a little bit overreaction to now 2 battlecopters. Black Bolt's getting pretty low on fuel. It will need an APC to refuel it. Good strike down the anti-air. Good strike up there. This battlecopter is out of range of it. Maybe the battlecopter was pulled back too far. I think so. This anti-air hasn't moved just yet, so if he would have put the battlecopter here, at least he'd be able to retaliate. The battlecopter head up north like that. And Von Bolt does get on top of the airfield as well. It feels like Von Bolt's in a very good position. Okay, Hawk saved up some money last turn. Now he's at 27,000. He may be going for a Neo tank this turn. Hawk is being very aggressive, very likely. Greetings, hope we can see a game from Javier. I'd like to see becomes objective game where comp powers. I'll see if I have anything in store. I can't say exactly. What I like to do is I scroll through replays, find decent length ones, and then favorite it and pull it up later. I can take a quick glance through them, see if there's any Javier replay. Tank here. And we've got a medium tank up there. So he didn't go for Neo tank, he went for tank, medium tank. Von Bolt has 21,000. Lots of properties being captured. He's at 24,000 income versus Hawk's 23. Does take the battlecopter there. And takes out the tank there. Von Bolt has right now 89,000 in the field versus Hawk's 72, and he still has his day-to-day as well. So Von Bolt is in a particularly great position. He's out of 110,000 funds either on the field or in bank versus Hawk's just 75. So Von Bolt is in an incredibly strong position right now. Hawk can pop a black wave, which probably not a good idea. Unless he has a lot of 1 health units damage from 1 health. Of course, the Von Bolt's power is not even halfway charged. Double tank there. Does go with Battlecopter, which could receive a pretty good amount of anti-air fire. I would probably say just go for it. It's not like this anti-air will do much else. Puts a bit of health into it to boost his power up. I wonder. Oh yeah, definitely go for it. The anti-air is basically dead either way. It will get repair up to 5 health and potentially get up to 6 with Black Wave. Neo Tank. Takes out the anti-air there. Infantry heading up north to the right. Tank there. Medium tank hitting the center. Another medium tank. So we've got a decent amount of medium tanks being brought up by Hawk. While Von Bolt has Neo and a medium tank. Mech here is a little interesting. There's a couple of mountains for the mech to play around with. Another Neo tank. It's supposed to 26,000. You can pump a Neo tank out every single turn. Medium tank heading to the center, of course. Battlecopter down here. I'll see if I don't have any. Can't say I have any save the moment. If you know a good Javier replay on hand, you can simply post a link to it and perhaps I'd click on it. Good shot there. Neo tank, of course, takes out a regular tank, but it's in range of medium tank, and medium tanks and Neo tanks have roughly the same defense. After all, this engagement's not bad for the medium tank. It will take a lot of retaliation damage, so maybe the Black Wave or Black Storm can help soften up. Or repair it up afterwards. Probably repair up afterwards, get him power charged via that. I have a feeling we may see Black Storm next turn. But right now, it feels like Von Bolt is in a very good position. Oh, Black Boat sunk. This Black Boat has still 23 fuel left, because Hawk did move around a little bit more. Gets a good... and pops the superpower there. Which also restored 2 of its health, so it's in a pretty good position there. Good strike there. Flipping a property. Does get a good strike on the anti-air. Battlecopter there with the anti-air pretty much knocked out. But an Ex Machina is highly likely going to be blown out next turn. And Ex Machina will likely land right around here. Artillery, artillery. Double artillery. That's interesting. Just needs 400 more funds, so pretty easy to get that. There we go. Oh, it needs 50 more funds. There we go. And here comes Ex Machina. I have a feeling it's going to land here. Oh, right there, Battlecopters. I assume it's going to hit the 2 medium tanks, but I suppose 2 Battlecopters is a bit more valuable than a medium tank. Plus it also hit the regular tank as well. Anti-air. Nice little merge in the Battlecopters. Gets another medium tank. Right now, Von Bolt ends the turn of 130. Hawk starts the turn to 128, so it's back down to a day-to-day difference. Medium takes great strike on the Neo tank. Of course, he's going to fight additional 10-10 this turn with the superpower active. It also means he's getting some decent power charge this turn while Volbolt's going to be at 0. Medium tank infantry spends all funds perfectly. Volbolt does start turn 25,000. Maybe a bomber could be a good idea. This one only has 2 anti-air. Good strike there on the battlecopter. Anti-air move around. Tank on tank violence. And a little bit of repairs there. Very nice. Of course, we've got 2 battlecopters here, which has basic free reign. The anti-air can reach out to here, so able to cover pretty much everything barring this tank and infantry. But this medium tank could get a good shot on the anti-air. That medium tank does go down. Another Neo tank infantry. Volbolt's been liking his Neo tanks this game. Hawk starts the turn of 24,000. He also is down by 2,000 income. Looks like that medium tank does not go down there. And the thing as well, with that medium tank another range anti-air, he's going to have to get rid of this before he can push the anti-air to hit one of these battlecopters. Blackbolt can put up the 7 health, which may be enough to one-shot a battlecopter. Hawk almost has enough for a black wave. It's generally a bad idea to save it for black storms, but I'm wondering if there's ever a time for a black wave. Probably not this turn. Takes out the medium tank there. Good shot there onto the battlecopter. That battlecopter, he has 6 health. Could have put up to 7 health to get the 1 shot there. Infantry did not finish it off. This one will. Does repair up the tank there and push it back up north. Anti-air pushing up north to help ward away the battlecopter. This tank could be in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. But can still be a bit of a body blocker. Volbolt ends the turn of 140,000 and Hawk starts the turn of 123. So looks like Hawk's starting to fall behind a little bit. Takes out the anti-air there. Takes out the battlecopter. Hawk's making some good kills this turn. Neo medium tank on medium tank. You think it's Hawk? He's probably get his next superpower. This may be what will give Hawk the edge. Get some health regen and whittled Volbolt down. He went from about 117 to 123. Volbolt goes down to 186. Possible Ex Machina next turn, but 1 extra star worth of value is quite significant. Get some good strikes there. Battlecopter. And right now Hawk has a good number of battlecopters on the field. And Volbolt, that black wave was pretty deadly. Now, without the repairs, 91,000, 19,000 in the bank. Hawk ends the turn of 146. But a single Ex Machina could lock down the entire center of the map. Needs another 11,000, which can actually be a little bit difficult because you need to inflict basically 20,000 damage to get that this turn. And he gets it. I have no idea what's going to land. Is it going to land right there? Can Ex Machina hit friendlies? Maybe we'll land down here. Let's find out. It landed down here, so lock down that flank. But needs an anti-air down here overall. There's the anti-air. Mech gets a good strike there. Hawk, Volbolt ends the turn of 100,000. Hawk starts the turn 107, so Hawk has a small advantage. thing is, it doesn't really have anything that really counter these Neo-Tanks center. This Neo-Tank, of course, be paired on up. Bombbolt's still pretty strong in the center. The only thing that really poses a threat is this medium tank, but as an 8 health against 8 health Neo-Tank, not so much. The artillery piece at 4 health, it did do some good damage, but can still be overrun. Another medium tank, another regular tank. Ends the turn of 128. Bombbolt starts the turn from 90. Bombbolt doesn't have too much up here. I can't go for a battle copter from nearby anti-air. I think this light tank needs to go up there. Gets good strikes there. Knocks out the medium tank. Better repairs on this medium tank. Can't jump to the city. Can jump to the HQ. Bombbolt still feels pretty strong in the center of the two Neo tanks, but it feels like Hawk has both the flanks. He's also getting pretty close to a black wave. I keep on saying he... I mean, the amount of chip damage across all these units, I'm also somewhat eyeing the health gens. Probably not a so good idea, just go for Black Storm. But this power and superpower getting more and more expensive, making it more difficult to pop. And sometimes, maybe if you don't feel like the game will go on long enough, you should pop the power. Like 1%, 1 global damage would do a decent amount of damage to Von Bolt as well. Medium tank infantry. Von Bolt's turn starts the turn with 15,000 after all the repairs. A lot of stuff. His stuff's just lumbering along. That 1 global damage would do a bit more than 10% damage because he has a lot of units that are wounded. Getting some good hits in the center. Merges. Wait, that was a nice little merger. Get a bit of funding back. Now it's at 22,000. Puts Neo Tank on the HQ. Puts the Neo Tank on the city. He's spending a lot of times repairs. He's trying to keep these units alive. There's only 2 bases. And both pillars airports is not really feasible. So with 2, it's really a 2-base situation. So pulling back units for repairs could be a good idea. Jenny also think you try not to do, but of course it's 2 bases, so you don't really want to waste time. Don't have too many bases to produce units. Yeah, I don't know. He is trying to flip some properties at 26,000 income. Von Bolt has a single tank up there, so he's technically winning this flank, but it's technically not really a flank there to begin with. Same thing down here. Hawk is winning, but Von Bolt doesn't even have a flank there. And this Black Bolt is down to 5 fuel. This Black Bolt being alive for a very long time has been very useful for Von Bolt, that's for sure. And Hawk is getting a decent amount of medium tanks in the field, and Von Bolt just retreats them back. Yeah, I think the funds being consumed on the repairs is actually being a little bit too much for Von Bolt right now. Battlecopter and Battlecopter. Hawk ends the turn of 132 with 11,000 to bank, so he's saving a bit of money. Von Bolt starts turn 16 and has 123 on the field. Decides not to keep the Battlecopter on the airport to get some repairs going. Those soiled abominations? My apologies, I don't really know what you're referring to. Got a couple medium tanks up here. He has a decent amount of good value tech, but now here comes Black Wave. There goes Von Bolt's next turn's income. Hawk should be able to take out this tank no problem. Maybe we can go for the Battlecopter instead. Throw some infantry bullets into it. Put some rounds in that Neo tank. Put rounds in the artillery piece. Got it. Sorry. And I think Hawk's pushing forward. He has a good number of light tanks, and the medium tanks can contest Neo tanks. So he has both a mobile force and a hard-hitting force to follow up with. So I think Hawk is starting to overrun his opponent. He'll get a superpower now. Ex Machina could be brought on the next turn, but he will need to do about... He's about 15,000 funds behind. No. That's wrong. 6,000? 7,000? Wait, no, it's 15,000. Which needs to do about 30,000 funds worth of damage. He may not be able to get his Ex Machina this turn. Taking the Battlecopter will definitely help out. Yeah, he will get it this turn. And Ex Machina is now available. Should lock down both these medium tanks. Yes, and so is a handful of infantry units. Takes up the medium tank there with the anti-air. Infantry tank. I forgot how much repair funds he had to consume that turn. In turn of 100,000. Hawks has a turn of 115. Of course, he only has one medium tank this region, which is, of course, force weighted this turn. He has still a good number of regular tanks in the field to help hit these anti-airs and all the other units, but we do have a couple light tanks and a medium tank here. Von Bolt's center is strong once again, because he's going to have basically a double turn versus these medium tanks, because this one is going to be stuck there. But of course, Hawk is starting to flip the airport up here. Blocks it, is 2 turns away from being captured. This regular tank could try to sneak around, medium tank immediately go up there, maybe onto up the forest. I don't know if the airport itself would be useful. I think just flipping properties and getting money is useful. And Hawk goes for a fighter. I think that's... Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a troll fighter, isn't it? Because Von Bolt has 0 aircraft in the field, and he's also capturing the airport. So, show of dominance, he deploys out a fighter. And looks like Von Bolt does go ahead and resign this Angrade, saying, "Thank you for watching, and on to the next replay." Have you done something to your audio, by the way? I can feel... not really. My voice volume is perfectly the same. I think I've been trying to mess with the in-game sounds. I can never get this stuff right. Speaking of which, I'm going to try switching the other sound plugin. I like the other sound plugin better, but it tends... I don't know, it just always feels like a little bit buggy. Let me know if this other one is okay, to say the least. But let me go ahead and get rid of this one. And someone requested for a Javier replay. Let me see if I have any of them for him. That's Andy versus Kindle. Olaf versus Von Bolt. And Olaf versus Eagle. If that replay is too old. Some of these replays I think are too old. Yep. Don't have a Javier replay queued on up. If you know a good Javier replay, let me know. And let me try this other sound plugin. Hopefully it cooperates this time. The sound plugins, I always feel like one's reliable, but not as great. The other one's good, but not reliable. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong with the sound plugins. By the way, let's see now. Before I actually get started casting, I need to fix the window size. Let's see. There we go. I can probably stretch it down a little bit. Move this to the left a little bit. Chat is not blocking anything important. And yep, got plenty of room for showing the unit panel. So let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the bottom right side is the Purple Lightning Kindle. We got RTY Neof, or I don't know how to pronounce that one word. I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced as one word. Either way, and spawn on the top left side as the Azure Comet, or Azure Asteroid. I can never remember all the names. We got Touch Spaghetti. Either way, this is a 3-base Fog Warrior map with an airport. We got a port here just to refuel the free black boat. Both sides do have a comm tower up north. It feels like this side is stronger for the southern player and this side stronger for the northern player. But you can still move units around, but they just do have a longer path. You could try also send infantry this way, but it's not great. You can also send bases down this way. It's really only one base to get down south and does also go through a forest. So it feels like this is the weak versus strong side sort of mechanic. Though it's not always guaranteed. Do have a recon here. Let's see, Kindle only has infantry, and of course a black boat. And 80 has gone for double recon now. Tank now deployed in the field by Kindle. So she's got firepower. Andy has mobility. And it's recon spotting. So far spotting no infantry units just yet. And we've got another tank by Kindle. Both players have not started capturing the comm tower, but they'll likely start next turn by Kindle. Recon will spot the comm tower not even started capturing, so he can interrupt it if he so chooses. In fact, with our caster vision, we know that's actually pretty safe. Andy will not have his comm tower interrupted. And will interrupt the capture comm tower. Could try to join and capture this infantry unit so close enough, or could go for a regular capture. And it won't be an RNG of finishing off that unit there, because with the comm tower being captured next turn right now, plus reduced defense due to the nature of having less health as well. Infantry gets a good strike there, takes out that unit, but already has captured the property. 80 sitting at 14,000, Kindle's at 15,000. ATR push way forward. Tank infantry. Kindle, of course, has gone for ATRs. I've been told that is a rule of thumb. You would want to try to get an ATR out between turn 8, 9, or 10. Because you never know when a battle copper may show up. In this case, there is none. Anti-air pushing down in the middle. Tank infantry. Tank infantry. So Kindle has a decent force here. Remember her day-to-day as well. She gets plus 40% firepower when attacking from urbanized ranges and cities. I always feel like it's a retaliation because, say, if a tank takes a shot into this tank from the city, she can pull, or onto the city, she can pull back that unit, put another tank on there, and counterattack for a severe amount of damage. Additionally, up here, comm tower is at 10 capture progress, so it's getting constantly interrupted. Got a couple more tanks that could push forward, heading up there. Gets a good strike there. Does not take out the infantry unit there, so we'll get a bit of healing. Which may be a good thing, since it helps drain a bit more funding from Andy. This is a 3 health infantry unit, it's not going to do all too much. Anti-air tank infantry. Andy does have now a battlecopter field. He figured out what an airport was. Kindle is not deployed on any bandit battlecopters just yet. Kindle right now is 17,000 income. Andy has 20,000 and does get a shot there. Capture progress is 10. This recon slowly being whittled down by all the machine gun fire. Tank move on back to the city. Tank infantry. What's up, property? And here heading down south. Once again. Oh, there we go. And that's a booster strike from the comm tower as well. So that recon probably received like 150% damage. And he still has an economic lead. Tank infantry. You're now the battlecopter here. Good strike on that tank. Kindle does, there's a tank right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if it attacks from here, gains the first strike. Could maybe merge this 3 health tank onto the 5 health tank. Does interrupt the capture there with that infantry unit. Very nice. And this capture is 6 out of 10. Oh, has 10 capture projects completed. And Andy has gone for a Neo tank. So we got some tacking up here. We could potentially see Urban Blight this turn, which would be pretty good to drain some funds against Andy against that Neo tank. Of course, that's with Cast Vision. Does get a strike there. Urban Blight and Hyper Repair available. Probably won't see a Hyper Repair. Even after an Urban Blight, probably won't see a Hyper Repair because of after the Urban Blight, everything would be healed up to 9, and if healing up for 1 health is probably not that great. It's a global damage where Andy can't really counter. Does get trapped there. There's Urban Blight. Particularly very useful. Going to be hitting the Black Boat and the Neo tank there, so it's going to be draining off a decent amount of funds there. As we'll hit some various infantry units across the board, and that's about it. Hey, this one's not intentional in this case. Battlecopter, infantry. Getting some strikes there. Infantry moving way forward. Comm tower may finally be captured next turn. Tank infantry. Now this time the Neo tank is going to be purposely prepared. My apologies for my drink open up. That battlecopter does go down. Looks like Andy will receive a boost strike there, damage there, but that's a 3 health tank. And will follow up with a good shot there. Does have hyper upgrade available. Has to finish off that tank or else it'll be 6 health. Gotta make sure you can't leave units alive. Take no quarters. Just the dimes. A finish with the 1 health infantry units is important. Takes out that 8 health infantry unit there. And that one as well. In fact, well, the hyper upgrade could allow... Nope, that will not aid in capturing the property. There's only 3 capture progress left there. Yeah, hyper upgrade won't really repair all too much. Will of course give him plus 10% additional firepower and plus 1 movement, plus the plus 10 for activating power and or superpower. So maybe a good idea to have damage reflect onto your units and then pop it, if anything at this time. Could be a good idea to save it. Right now, Kindle, it's hard to tell. Fog of War, this valley will change. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Good strike there. These booster strikes are being very useful. It's surprising how useful Kindle's day-to-day passive. Your opponent has to play around away from properties. And they have to play away around not being on properties of Urban Blight. Which is not always easy. Kindle has a good amount of tanks up here. Kindle right now has 103,000 on the field, 25,000 bank. I feel like hyper upgrade's never enough against Kindle. Probably. I mean, Andy's good at countering Drake, Olaf, and Hawk. The +1 movement's very nice, which also does affect infantry. But in this case, the probably best way you can use hyper upgrade is to charge forward, deal damage, and repair up the damage after from the counterattack damage. Pops the hyper upgrade immediately this turn, so all of his units are at full health, except for this 1 infantry unit. You're at 9 health. Now he's primarily doing it for the +1 movement range as well as additional firepower. Gets great strikes there, and Neo Tank able to reach further. And I think as well, there's an Urban Blight available, which will boost up her urban damage bonus to 80% from 40%. And so this tank may just get one-shotted. I can't say off the top of my head. Looks like Andy's doing a good job of keeping units off of properties. He's not doing a full spend there as well because the Urban Blight's highly likely. Only looks like a handful of infantry units that are on properties, so let's see if she goes Urban Blight. Does pop the Urban Blight. I am curious about this as well. Property. Has a very, very good chance of one-shotting that tank. You have to roll abysmal luck roll. And the boost strike will get take out that 1 unit. Does get trapped there and there. And having the anti-air trap like that is actually a bit of a problem. But then again, it wasn't being pushed. It got trapped right there, so it wasn't trying to push forward and engage something. That time it did. Battlecopter, recon, artillery, infantry. Kindle ends the turn with 127,000 on the field. Well, 80 will start with just 94. Does have 30,000 in the bank, so there's a lot of viable things he could go for this turn. You go for another Neo Tank, and I'm pretty sure stealths on this map are not banned. So he could deploy a stealth fighter. Stealth fighter, stealth bomber. I suppose the model of its game is somewhere between, I think it's a close to a B2 rather than to an F117. F-117 is a fighter, B-2 is of course a bomber. So it's technically a stealth fighter, which also can hit aircraft and all that sort, so yeah. It does come with a Neo tank and a regular tank. Kindle has a recon there. Ooh, that's actually an important trap right there. Able to finish off that tank there. Neo tank will have its pickings of which one of these tanks you want to eat. No, the regular tanks can take out this tank here. Andy's in a great position here. Kindle doesn't really have anything to stop the Neo tank, and there's a good number of reserve tanks here for Andy as well, which also poses a problem. Right now, only thing Kindle has this region is battlecopters. Of course, now there is a couple tanks next to a city, so if she somehow clears up this city, she can get a booster strike off of it. And the anti-air is not spotted, so that battlecopter is good as dead as well. So Kindle will get some pretty good victories down here. She's also doing great up here. Andy does have another Neo tank up here, and Urban Blight is soon to be available. Urban Blight is now available, which could allow her to project off the city. What's a regular couple battlecopter shots there? Not sure that was a great idea. I would assume maybe a good idea to take out the infantry units and get a boost strike on one of these tanks, one-shotting them. But the Neo tank's down to 4 health, which is effectively knocked out, but still poses a no. A 4 health Neo tank can be a 9 health Neo tank. And the 3 health tank here is also could be a 7 health tank. That may have not been a great thing overall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So battlecopter can be ranged to battlecopter. But he does need to squeeze out quite a bit extra power charge. Another 13. That was managed to pop it there, so now we got a 9 health Neo tank. So good strikes there, takes out the recon there. Battlecopter still pose a threat, but there is a 4 health battlecopter for that, and of course a 5 health anti-air to stop it. Anti-air push down south. Kindle does have a Neo tank back here. And a full fighter deployed up by Andy. And that's the thing as well. I don't know why he went for a full fighter. Kindle has 3 battlecopters, which of course Andy sees 2. Don't believe you can see the 3rd one right here, but I don't like that fighter deployment. Maybe he has a feeling that Kindle went for a stealth? Good strikes there. Takes out some of those tanks. Neo tank pushes forward. Gets top of the property here. Out of vision range, but can easily be spotted by this recon. Push to the forest there. Sacks a battlecopter there. Battlecopter, artillery, tank, infantry. Kindle ends turn 135,000. Andy starts with 116, so he's starting to fall behind. Takes out some of these outlying infantry units. Fighter hitting down south. Neo tank does fall back. You think it needs a fast response down south? Still, that is quite an investment because that's what, 20,000 funds? Sure, it can get down here faster. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems it's expensive. Right now, there's only 2 battlecruisers in the field, so it won't even pay for itself. But it's trying to prevent other damage. I don't know. It's hard for me to estimate that. You may be right about that. The battlecopters are splitting up. In this case, that's good. Kino's just creeping her way forward. True, there was 3. You are correct about that. Well, no, I don't think he actually saw the one down there. And plus, one of the battlecruisers were pretty wounded. Yeah, I don't know. I think he could maybe better just go for anti-air. Neotank gets a good strike there. Fighter takes out the battlecopter, no problem. 3 health anti-air could... I don't know how much damage the anti-air does to... 3 health anti-air does to a fighter. Probably not great. Yeah, it's reasonable. Plus, at that point in time, it's probably better just to counter a battlecopter for your own battlecopter. And then try to follow up with anti-air afterwards. Like, go battlecopter anti-air. That not only that would be cheaper than a fighter, it probably be a bit more effective. Neotank, tank, and artillery piece. Urban Blight is available. Will she pop it immediately? This Neotank did get sliced up a little bit. Get a booster strike there. Remember as well, this plus 80%, plus 10% from the activating power, plus 10% of the comm tower, so there's a plus 100% firepower strike onto the Neotank in total. And there as well. It's amazing how Kindle's day-to-day passive, this urban terrain strike, it's surprisingly useful. I don't know how to describe it. I'm always surprised how effective Kindle's. It always seems like a CL on paper doesn't do all too well, shouldn't all do too well, but she's actually really good. And I think as well, when it comes to high society, it's not a bad superpower. It's just that Urban Blight is an excellent superpower. Fighter heading back up north, living in the center. May had a feeling that one of the battlecopters went up north. Of course, he does see this one here. And there are 3, so the fighter may be more and more useful as games go on. I still just sort of disagree with it. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry. And now do have a hyper repair. That's a lot of power charge there. Neotank takes out Neotank. Boost strike there, falls up as well. Battlecopter heading up north, anti-air push on the left. We may see a hyper upgrade this turn, however, there's not too much that stuff that are damaged that can get good value from it. And he ends the turn with 108,000 in the bank. Or starts with 108,000 with 21,000 in the bank. While Kendall ends the turn for 155 on the field and 8,000 in the bank. So she has a pretty sizable advantage right now. Hyper upgrades now available. Maybe try to save it. A lot of wounded units right now, but mostly just wounded infantry units. Fighter pulls back. I disagree with that. Just try to keep it forward. basically how I would probably place a fighter is anti-air moves 6 tiles, so make sure it's 6 tiles away from any sort of fog of war tile. Get a booster strike on the A-tier for the A-tier. Now that thing could get repaired on up by the hyper upgrade. Takes on the infantry unit there. Gets trapped. Takes out the tank there. At this point in time, she's not donating power charges to Andy, but I have a feeling there's going to be a hyper upgrade next turn. Fighter's in range either way. Some much needed healing there. Gets a good strike. She has Urban Blight available once again. Takes out that tank. Anti-air takes a good strike onto the battlecopter. Andy's flank over here is basically disintegrated. Nothing much you can do versus a Neo tank, and has a bit of uphill build of all these regular tanks. Andy does have a slight income advantage right now. And this part what I mean by where the sound player is a little bit buggy is you've probably been hearing all those repeating sound effects. I wonder if I were to... Doing that will restart it. Fix the sound bug. Good hit there on the AT on the fighter. Effectively knocking it out. Neo tank quick goes on down there. Yeah, I think Kindle's starting to run away with the game, taking on the Neo tank up north. Another Neo tank deployed by Kindle and infantry units. Andy does start the turn with 100 or 25,000 in the bank, 94 on the field. Kindle has 165 on the field. Another Neo tank deployed by Andy. Fighter falls back. Falling back to the black boat will make sense. It will get it refueled and a little bit repaired. Don't have to repair all the way. You can always just let your power and superpower to help out with that. Lots of good damage down there. Battlecopter can charge forward once this ATR gets knocked out by the tank. But even then, there's not a whole lot to follow up after that. Charging for the tank to hit the ATR will basically forfeit the tank. And Andy does go ahead and resign this Angrade, saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. I wonder if there's any way to fix that sound issue. I'm going to take a quick look maybe in the next game. Just give me a moment to check. Oh, that was... Ow. Here's some sound effects. I wonder if there's any way for me to... Not a very noticeable sound error? Okay, so it's just me overthinking it. I'm just trying to see if there is... I see all those intros of me. Let's try that. Let's see if that will fix the bugs. Sorry, probably overthinking it. Either way, let me actually go fix the map itself before I actually get started. And there we go, all that exposed. I think that's centered enough. Move the chat window up here a little bit, and there we go. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advance Wars by Web Replay. Spawn bottom left side as the Purple Lightning Vombo Laska Lunar. Spawn on top right side as the Blue or Azure Comet, Azure Asteroid, Olaf. We got Larry 93. This map's a little bit interesting. We've got a recon on top of a shore next to a comm tower. Both sides are land to help capture that said comm tower. There's also a port down here to refuel it. Airport, neutral airport here, as well as a neutral airport underneath the black boats. So yes, there's a black boats on land. Land cruisers. No, that's not the right turn. I don't know what's going with that joke. There's also a lane on top of each HQ to help prevent the capture. It can move off, but once it moves off, it can't move back on. And yeah. There's also a city in the corners, but there's shores to get to it, as well as mountains. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Olaf's, of course, unaffected by snow, while Von Bolt is naturally gets plus 10, plus 10. Olaf has now pulled out an early tank. Seems pretty early for the tank. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Yeah, Von Bolt in return just going for infantry. So very early tank deployed out by Olaf. Does move the lander next to the base there. Maybe try and push forward with infantry unit to somewhere down here. I just realized something. Von Bolt's superpower could be drawn towards the landers, and we do have Von Bolt pulls the lander off the HQ to do a bit of a boost there. We do now have the artillery piece up here. The artillery piece just creeps way forward. It's going to be barraging the black boat, then go back here and engage the recon. And looks like Olaf has the same attitude as well. And we do have a mech here by Von Bolt as well. Oh, bit of a lag spike there. I don't know why this sound plugin, I like it better, but it also causes lag spike issues. I don't know what causes it. Good strike in the black boat, which also gives Olaf some power charge going, but which gave him one of the same thing. You can see there, Von Bolt gets plus 10% firepower, put the black boat down to 6 health. Wait, do black boats on top of airports get defense stars? Really stupid question. Let's see, I'm just gonna put this up to 10. Let's see. Goes 42 to 48. If I were to put onto a planes, oh yeah, it looks like black boats do get terrain stars from airports. Sorry, I just had to double check that. One of those things that doesn't really pop up. Because when do you ever expect to fight a black boat on top of an airport? It makes me wonder if all other weird interactions. You know, some maps have. Does Kindle, if she has a ship on top of a property, like a airport or something. I'm assuming it gets a boosted strike there as well if aircraft does. Because there's always been those weird cases on certain maps where people like COs like Kendall or Jake can get weird interactions with sea units on not sea terrain. And Von Bolt's Recon's not a very annoying spot. Olaf can take out that black boat, but will receive some retaliation fire from the Recon, or he pulls back the artillery piece and let the tank engage the Recon. That's actually an interesting choice. He traps the unit there, pulls back the artillery piece, gets the strike from the Recon, and now the Recon is trapped. He can delete the black boat to get a shot on the infantry unit, but he will be forfeiting power charge like that. Got a bit of a flip there. And getting up north, getting some shots there on the infantry unit. Good strike there on the Recon, does not one-shot it. Oh boy. That sound bug. I wonder if that fixed it. Yep. Give me one moment, I'm gonna try refreshing the page. Cause that sound bug is pretty bad. If I turn off the sound. Still the same turn. Hopefully I fixed that issue. Takes out the Recon, puts some rounds into the black boat with a regular tank that's not great. Gets a good strike on the mech there on the shore and onto this tank as well. So a couple good first strikes there. Tank infantry. Olaf now has this blizzard available. Unlikely we're going to see it. If your unit does go down, tank pushes way forward. Recon there. And now we've got the artillery pace taking out that Recon there. So now he can capture this column tower. Von Bolt's a Recon still in the region. He could just simply put the Recon on top of the property, maximize defense, but I think it still gets two-shotted. Taking time to just gun down the black boat with a tank. Oh boy, that Recon push away 4 is really stalling out Olaf up there. So that Recon ultimately failed in harassing their artillery piece, but has caused other issues for Olaf. Only hear the stream sound fine? So you don't hear the stuttering, the audio, or the I may need to double check the replay afterwards. The video file at least. So you don't hear any stuttering between the terms? I just probably need to review it myself. It'll be interesting if I don't actually hear it. Let's see, currently... Lost good strike on these tanks. This tank's down to 1 health. This one's down to 2 health. We may see Winter Fury next turn. helicopter heading down south. We'll be sitting up on top of the comm tower. Olaf just needs a little more power charge to Wind of Fury. Unlike most superpowers, you probably just pop out as soon as you get it. The lander gets trapped there, so now the artillery piece will start shelling it, giving Von Bolt some decent power charge there, as well as Olaf, tank, infantry, tank, recon, or battlecopter, I should say. Recon does not spot the tank in the woods, capturing the strength of the property now. Von Bolt does a 24,000 income. He does free the lander. Or we can let the lander stay there and receive a shot to get power charge. He'll probably give his bonus Wind of Fury though, letting it sit there. Another T-copter on the field. That's a lot of T-copters by Von Bolt. Got recon, tank, infantry, battlecopter. And there's the Wind of Fury. Holding quite a bit of damage against Von Bolt. And of course his bonus units will be moving slower as well, making it harder for a counterattack. Anti-air infantry tank. T-copter's not exactly moving very quickly. Von Bolt right now is 25,000 income. Olaf has 21. Ends turn of 120,000. Olaf starts turn of 124, so it's day-to-day difference. Go strike down the tank. Ex Machina could be brought in pretty soon. And that will probably land around here. Maybe around here. Could hit the lander. And now it looks like it's going to be brought in right around here. Now I think about the landers. So the landers will give Olaf some room to work with. Has not unloaded it up here. There it goes. So yeah, I think the Ex Machina will probably land right here, if I would hazard a guess. Guess we'll find out. It did. I landed right there. Let's see. Battlecopter can get a good strike on the Battlecopter. That's locked down. Anti-air can also get a good shot up there. So you can clean up some of those wounded units, but they were already pretty wounded. Take the Battlecopter there. He drops the capture there. Von Bolt has 28,000, while Olaf has 21,000. That is quite a massive income disparity. It feels like Olaf's in a good position still, but that income disparity will rapidly change the game. Neo-tank infantry. They're striking the infantry unit. Olaf ends turn of 140,000. Von Bolt starts turn of 126, so the fact is still close to daily income, and he still is capturing more properties. This could set him up to 30,000. Olaf is trying to flip multiple properties. This one will flip next turn. This one will take 2 more turns. This one will take 2 more turns. But still, Von Bolt has a massive income advantage. Takes out some of those outlying units. Neo Tank load up on the lander. Mech now deployed on the field once again. Anti-air battlecopter recon. Battlecopter does get destroyed. Anti-air does take out that one unit. Battlecopter heading down south. Olaf does have 2 artillery pieces on cars, 2 tanks, 3 tanks in this region, and a wounded 1. You have another infantry, anti-air battlecopter. Neo tank could get shelled quite a bit by those oh, sorry, I hit my microphone pretty hard there. By those artillery pieces, and the Winter Fury will likely come from that and wound it even more. Captain Progress has 3 remaining on that city. Olaf did manage to flip this one. These 2 will get flipped next turn if he does not do anything. And 4 capture progress, 0 capture progress. Or 20, I should say. So it looks like this one will be flipped next turn as well, giving Olaf some much needed income. Takes out the artillery piece there, and now there's Winter Fury. Artillery pieces in range of a lot of targets. Choose one. Medium tank blow down the field as well. But here comes the Winter Fury. There's no reason why not to pop it immediately. Neo tank gets shelled there. Tank hits the tank or recon. Good strikes there. Battlecopter. Tank, infantry, and infantry. This property is 2 turns waving flip. Von Bolt has 27,000 income at the moment versus Olaf's 23. Olaf ended the turn of 138 with 5,000 bank, so decent advantage. Olaf starts, or Von Bolt has 103,000 on the field, of course a stated day income of 17,000 or 17,000 remaining after all the repairs. So Olaf has taken a slight advantage, but Ex Machina will be coming up shortly before the next Winter Fury. And Von Bolt still has a very good presence up north. He is lacking anti-airs. He's also lacking anti-air down south to engage this battlecopter as well, so he probably needs to pull out anti-air down here, or maybe a battlecopter to help engage the battlecopter. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry. And of course another infantry. Mech does go down there. Neotank getting shelled once again. Neotank's about ready to go on down. It's effectively knocked out. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, or recon. Ex Machina could be popped this turn. Wordland, probably right around here. I think this is Ex Machina bait right there. The lander, battlecopter, and artillery piece. That's what just suggests to me. And I think as well with the anti-air there, so probably strike this infantry unit there and getting all that stuff. Or, nope. It'll strike here, getting both of the landers. So yeah, I think the Ex Machina will land on top of that artillery piece. Assuming it pops this turn, it doesn't appear to be able to be popped this turn. So yep, I have a feeling it will land here. Because it would definitely strike both those landers. Unless... Let's go to Mount Infantry there. There's also 2 battlecopters, so it could strike right on top of this battlecopter to hit that lander and both the battlecopters as a possibility as well. It could strike here, hitting the tank artillery and lander. But no, 2 battlecopters would be worth more than that. But I think it will strike right here to hit both landers. The recon, all the infantry there. Yep. Hard to say exactly where it lands. Ex Machina should be getting pretty close. Needs another, looks like 3,500. But looks like he will not get it this turn as well. Vulnerable ends turn of 152,000. Olaf starts with 162, so Olaf does have an advantage. And there's Ex Machina. He has to play around the Ex Machina with, I would say, both the landers. Yeah, it's definitely striking both those landers. I have a feeling it's going to land right here, or maybe right here. Nope. It will land right here. It will strike both those landers. I'm 85% certain. Nothing visible, so it definitely landed right on top of that infantry unit. It gets both the landers. Lots of the... How many battlecopters went down? 4? Jeez. Forget the Ex Machina. 4 battlecopters went down. Winter Fury is now available. But I don't think Olaf's in a great position right now. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Olaf ends or starts turn of 114. Bomble ends turn of 146. It did in fact strike where I thought it would. It's both those landers. Now got 2 damage global. Infantry, Neo-Tank. Vulnerable starts turn of 124,000 the bank, 97 on the field. Olaf ends turn of 138. So quite a bit of a calling there of the superpower. Interrupts the capture there. Vulnerable does have 20,000 versus 22,000, so he's been maintaining good income this entire game. But now this lander does land itself on top of a port, which means it's going to get repaired on up, so just eating some funds there. Another battle cup spawned down south. He did get a good first strike on this anti-air. He saw that infantry unit there. Neo tank does consider the lander. Battlecopter does take a pretty good hit there. Well, lost Neo tank number 4. Got a battlecopter there. Anti-air recon infantry. Vulnerable starts turn of 95,000. Takes out the anti-air. As anti-air is in range of this battlecopter. Vomble's been doing a very good job killing off his Olaf's battlecopters, that's very sure. T-copter is almost out of fuel. After it drops off this infantry unit, could fall back to the airport to get a bit of healing and reinforcing, or refueling. Okay, so that battlecopter down south. Infantry, battlecopter, anti-air. Takes out that battlecopter on their recon. Reconning. Has good strike there on that anti-air. Artillery piece creeping its way forward. Infantry speed of support. Neo tank advancing. Out of vision range. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Property was stopped and captured. Vombo still has 27,000 versus 23,000. Dead damage there. It looks like the transport copter is just sitting on top of the city trying to protect it. Does go ahead, boost it up there. T-copter push way forward there. One thing he could do as well, 17 fuel, 20 fuel, he could merge the two T-copters together to get them more fuel. Battlecopter recon, if mech and tank. Both an Ex Machina and a Winter Fury both soon to be available. Probably will see the Winter Fury first. But Ex Machina could be popped first. Thing is, well, when it comes to Ex Machina, Olaf has a perfect way to bait it out once again with the landers. And there is a Winter Fury. Takes out that infantry unit there. Bombos in particularly not great position. I think he's down to like 90,000 on the field. Battlecopter, anti-air, tank, infantry. 80,000, I was way off. Wolf ends the turn of 126. Von Bolt starts the turn of 80,000 with 15,000 in the bank. Tank, infantry. No Ex Machina this turn. Ex Machina can now be brought on in. It will likely strike these two landers again. Could possibly hit the Neo tank if the artillery piece gets next to it. I know it does great accumulation of value damage, but I wonder if it counts the 7 health landers as less valuable units, because they're already wounded. But here comes Ex Machina. Nothing visible got hit, so I'm guessing the landers again. Battlecopter mech. And gets trapped there. Infantry, battlecopter, and battlecopter mech. And did strike the landers once again. Bombable ends turn 111, and Olaf starts turn 135 on the field. Try and flip some properties. This is exactly what Olaf needs. Tank, recon, anti-air. Von Bolt's infantry that's left behind with this context on 2 health. Good strikes there. Takes out the anti-air. The copter drops off a mech there, and the battlecopter is rotating around. Von Bolt does have good battlecopters on here, but of course got the Neo tank here. Anti-air, of course, in somewhat in range. Does take out the battlecopter. Blizzard now available. The amount of battlecopters in the field, Blizzard would be a great way to slow down his opponents, since the air units have half the movement speed. So if he has a lot of air units in vision range, he doesn't want them to escape, he could pop a Blizzard rather than saving for Winter Fury. Plus, seeing how expensive Winter Furies are now, they are at 113,000 total cost. Getting pretty close to the cost of Ex Machinas. Looks like something got destroyed by a T-copter. Lost, probably ran out of fuel. Another anti-air, battlecopter, artillery, and a base skip, which he has enough funds, 33,000 in the bank. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. And Von Bolt does go ahead and resign this Angrade, saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me 1 moment. My apologies, I'm back. pretty sure I did this one last week. And, oh yeah, these replays are too old, so I need to find one replay. Boop, 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 the good old-fashioned way. Assuming none I'm following. Oh, nope, they're still going. Let's try to find a replay relatively quickly of decent rating. I don't really like mirror matchups, but sometimes clicking one of these players' profiles. A lot of big games with this person. 12, 19. This will do. Now let's go ahead and fix the map. And there we go. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on top left side as Orange Star Jess, we got Step 6 SRL. So on bottom right side as the Amber Blaze, Jake, we got Scandalous. That is something, last time I heard that term was from the old cartoon show known as Recess. Damn, that's been years, probably over a decade since I've ever thought about that old cartoon. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Jess and Jake are quite similar. One focus on planes, so plus 10% firepower of all units on planes, including air units. While Jess gets plus 10% attack for all vehicles, but minus 10% firepower on all the units, excluding foot soldiers. Get the amount of planes on the field, so they probably have equal firepower in most situations, but not always. Jess is more consistent, bar battlecopters. They're less consistent in that case. Additionally, the power both increases these bonuses by up to 20%, so relatively similar there. But Jess, of course, gets plus 1 movement range and resupply fuel. Jess then, of course, gets both of these players get plus 3% with their power and with their superpower. Jess gets plus 2 movement range. Jake gets plus 2 movement range. And I probably should also mention as well, both his power and superpower increases the range of indirects by plus 1. These two COs are quite similar, but also have their differences. And these infantry units are sprinting the way forward. I just now realized that. We do have the recon here. Jess has gone for a tank. So Jake is trying to capture up many properties on his opponent's side of the map. Try to get that income going. He is forfeiting a decent amount of income. Jess has 9,000, Jake has 6,000. But let's see how well it pays off. Jake has gone for double recon. Jess has double tanks, but she has economy's just straight up better. Now that side's starting to capture their comm tower just yet, and Jess sees both these infantry units now, and probably a little bit confused by that. Infantry, tank, infantry. Jake has no tanks on the field. Jake may want to go for double tank infantry. He has 15,000 in the bank. Tank, infantry. Trying to send tank up north and to the left. May just need to send both of them up north. He has a recon here for harassing. He has decent division in this region. He doesn't see any tanks just yet, so it'll probably be best if both these tanks head up north. He does have a recon to spot the tanks. Infantry did fall back to some woods, so this one captured that property, this one captured that property. Might as well go for swipe there. 15,000 versus 16,000. Jess still has economic advantage. Jake has not even touched this side of the map, really. And recon is eyeing to recon, not eyeing to engage the infantry unit. Gets a good strike on the infantry unit there. Tanks migrating up north, infantry units getting inside of the black boat. Only one can dismount though. Tank, artillery, T-copter, infantry. You know, just had a pretty sizable advantage up here. It has not paid off. In fact, this is the only conflict so far yet. A recon hitting this infantry unit, interrupting capture. Just as it came out infantry here, no tanks down here, so Jake can have free reign for recon. Stops our capture as well. Jake now has 20,000, so his economy is starting to pull ahead. And of course, got an artillery piece here. Good first strike there, but that may have been not great because the follow-up will be counterattack. And he only has one tank in reserve now, so I don't think charging forward like that was a good idea. You would have to try to get a double tap, hit one tank and another tank at the same turn. Recon got spotted, does get gunned down. Tank, artillery piece and infantry by Jess. Oh, I didn't try to get the trade there, was unsuccessful. Of course, Jake has free reign over here. The artillery piece is going to be just straight up overkill. But that's of our cast division. T-copter transporting a mech up north. They're just going to try and reinforce the area with mechs. I suppose that can work. It's difficult to use mechs, honestly. They're just very slow. Though they all have the same firepower as a tank, if I remember correctly. I know in Days of Ruin, tanks, mechs, and battlecopters all have the same firepower. Jake's infantry starting to clean up there. Of course, got a battlecopter up here as well. Jake now has access to a beatdown. We probably won't see that. He's more of a superpower focused CO. Gets no plus to increase movement range with beatdown. Only +1 range with his indirect with beatdown. Battlecop's heading over here to engage. There's also some tanks out here, so Jess is trying to put some pressure down here. Jake could get a double tap on these tanks. Get a first strike on both those tanks. That could be quite nice. Overall, those are just keeping his tanks in reserve. Mech right here. So just when I get a strike on this tank, the mech fall get on top of the property and fire back. Lifting that property. Gets trapped. Good strike on the recon anti-air heading down south. We got the tank on top of the forest there. Enraged the battlecopter, but out of vision range. Artillery piece here in range of this tank there. So what was supposed to be pretty solid in Jake's favor has now really sort of inverted itself. Tank's out of vision range though. Does not spot the tank there. Does spot the tank there. It's a good strike there. Overcharge now available. Just can go for Overcharge. Overcharge is quite reasonable. +1 movement range, plus 10%. There's no additional firepower on our vehicles. Can be quite nice. And sometimes you don't need a plus extra 20% and +2 movement range. Infantry, tank, and medium tank. So Jess has actually gone for medium tank. We'll take a bit of time to get the front line. Both players are 20,000, so Jess has even out the income. There's still a couple despicable neutral properties on the field. Another mech here. Another mech there. Another mech there. How many mechs is he going for? It's been a while since his last seen mech play. There's some good strikes there. Infantry pops on out. I'm gonna flip this property once again. Mechs in range of this tank and the artillery piece as well. There's the infantry unit there, and the artillery piece does get struck. There's a lot of just tanks there. Jake does, of course, have multiple mechs in range of tanks and multiple tanks in range in a battlecopter. Jake's gonna get a pretty good counterattack there. He could try getting a block rock. Block rock will also allow this artillery piece to range the recon. Make it happen. Great. Boo. Good shot there. And right there as well. And there's a block rock. He's going to pop it this turn. Maybe good idea to pop it to neuter the overdrive. There's a block rock. Artillery piece in range of the recon, just out of vision range at the moment. Now he gets plus 30% firepower from attacking planes, which is actually quite important. No booster strike there. There's the booster strike. Gets trapped. A chain of mechs being pushed away, pushed forward. Blah, can't speak. Artillery piece gets a good strike in the recon, so it did happen. Got the +1 range. It actually became useful. It's actually disturbingly how hard it is to get +1 range to be effective while not playing grit and being constant. And it looks like the battlecopters is creeping the way forward. If you don't know exactly where to place them, just place them beyond 6 tiles away from any sort of fog of war they don't know. The only thing you couldn't see was inside this forest there. We probably should see an overdrive this turn. Unless you just want to try to save it this turn. Unless you just want to save it. Because definitely should have popped that before moving the medium tank to get it going faster. APC does not need it for resupplying the munitions or fuel. This is purely meant for moving infantry, which is probably generally better go for a T-copter. I'm not sure why Jess went for a APC. After all, her power and superpower does the resupply effect. And T-copter would probably be better than moving around infantry, and it's a little bit more mobile. Mech gets a great strike there. Mechs are being quite useful right now. And he's trying to flip a property there, just has a slight income advantage. Mech, battlecopter, infantry, tank. And we may see the overdrive this turn. Now, this tank needs to get out of range of that artillery piece. Or went in more into range. And here comes the overdrive. Pops the overdrive there. Which will that 4 health ain't here to one-shot a battlecopter? Excuse me, give me one moment. No. Mech will probably go down the artillery piece. Gains some good strikes here. Looks like this artillery piece would not be consumed hitting that mech. Medium tank gets great strike on that regular tank. Now Jake only has mechs up here to contest all the armor, which he could get a double tap onto that medium tank with a planes booster strike, maybe from beatdown, maybe from block rock. You almost enough for another block rock. How effective are plus 30% firepower mechs versus medium tanks? Because I don't think I've ever had to say that before. You rarely ever see mech play like this. There's a possible block rock this turn. He can throw the mechs into the medium tank. I'm curious of how much value that would do. So it'll be 16 power charge per mech. Gain decent amount of progress towards that, but if he had a superpower, how much damage would that do? Not a whole lot more. Wait, here we go. There's actually a bit of a problem there. Planes. Not too significantly more. Be guaranteed 2 damage each. Try and flip 2 properties down here. Great shot there. No block rock this turn. Mechs are generally just falling back at the moment. Artillery, infantry, battlecopter decides to just get a strike there. Grand Jested had our overdrive up, giving the plus 10% defense to that situation. Or block rock, it's just vehicles that get plus 2 movement range. I give you a moment to remind myself. Does not affect the mechs, right? Vehicles get plus 2 movement, so no mechs gets boosted. So we're probably going to see a block rock this turn. The artillery piece will be in range of the E-tier then. Looks like it's not going for block rock just yet. And looks like he will not be going for block rock. There's a good strike there. Battlecopter gets a good strike there. No mech getting strike onto the tank because it's inside of a forest. It's like the prime opportunity for a mech to do a fire shot from the mountain with plus 4 defense stars. Feels bad not seeing that. Jess does have access to a turbocharge, which could be useful. Guns on the battlecopter. Medium takes a good shot there on the mech on top of the mountain. Does stop or interrupt the capture. Doesn't fully stop at the moment. Artillery piece in range in the anti-air, so that anti-air is done for. We'll probably see the block rock this turn. Jess ends turn of 143. Jake starts turn 124 of the day-to-day income. They're pretty even at the moment. And here comes a block rock. Getting some good damage there. Gets a booster strike onto the artillery piece. Very nice. Battle Cup takes that up. We do now have an overdrive available. Do have a Neo tank here, but without spotting, probably can't even get a shot off on it, off of anything. It'd be difficult for it to get a shot off of anything, and counterattack artillery strike could be very nice. Pops a turbocharge, so it's going for 1-2 punch. She will retain a significant amount of power charge for the second turbocharge. The mechs are still holding out, but they're taking losses now. There are 2 mechs in the region. This artillery piece is now in range of 2 targets of the tanks. And thus the Neo tank does fall back a little bit there. Jake, of course, has no power charge remaining. Jess ends turn for 133. Jake starts the turn for 133. So Jake appears to have a turn ahead right now. Mech gets a good strike there. The mechs are doing just enough damage to hold back this front. T-Copter's almost out of fuel, but it can be resupplied by the Black Boat. Anti-air pushed along the left side. Battlecopter here. And right now, Jake does have 2,000 income advantage. And possibly even more. Comm Tower's 2 turns away from being captured. This property can be captured next turn. Mech almost out of ammo. I think they only start off have 3 ammo, so they don't really care all too much. Though they don't really stay alive long enough to spend all 3 rounds. If you think 3 ammo is not a whole lot for a mech unit, fun fact, Laws and some rocket launchers don't last very long in real life either. Usually the barrels get ripped apart. Laws, the recoil strike from the United States used in Vietnam, were actually disposable. They were one-time uses, and I think javelins and as well, modern javelins are one-time use. And and just let's go ahead and resign. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And that shall be my last replay tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching.